There comes a time in every man's life when he stands at a crossroads, a moment when he must choose between the easy path, the one of comfort, indulgence, and compromise, or the path of discipline, honor, and strength. The samurai never had the luxury of choice. His path was forged in steel, in sweat, and in unwavering dedication to a code higher than himself. Today, in a world drowning in distractions, weakness, and endless excuses, that way of life seems like a relic of the past. But what if I told you that the samurai's way is more relevant now than ever? What if I told you that the principles that once guided warriors on the battlefield could make you unstoppable in modern life? There was a time when I made excuses, when I let my emotions control me, when I bent under pressure. I was soft, weak, like most people today, always looking for shortcuts, avoiding pain, running from responsibility. Until one day I realized something terrifying. No one was coming to save me. There was no master to guide me, no secret formula to strength. If I wanted to be unbreakable, I had to forge myself in the fire of discipline. That's when I discovered the way of the samurai, not as a historical curiosity, but as a way to live, to fight, to endure. The samurai did not train when he felt like it. He trained because he had no other choice. His sword was not just a weapon. It was an extension of his will. And his will was stronger than flesh, stronger than fear. Imagine waking up before dawn, knowing that your life depended on your ability to move faster, strike harder, endure longer than your enemy. Imagine pushing your body to exhaustion, not for vanity, not for pleasure, but because weakness meant death. That was the reality of the samurai. And yet, here we are today, struggling to get out of bed, skipping workouts, procrastinating on the things we claim to care about. Discipline is not about motivation. Motivation is a child's game, a fleeting spark that dies in the wind. Discipline is the steel that remains when the fire is gone. It's doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it, especially when you don't feel like it. Miyamoto Musashi, the greatest samurai who ever lived, trained with his sword every day, even when there was no war. He wrote in the Book of 5 Rings that a warrior must never allow himself to stagnate, that mastery is an endless road with no destination. If you think you've arrived, you've already fallen behind. The world rewards discipline because discipline is rare. Look around you. How many people can commit to anything for more than a few days? How many are willing to sacrifice comfort for something greater? If you can be the one who stays the course, who sharpens his blade every single day, you will stand apart. You will become something that others fear, admire, and respect. But without discipline, you are nothing. A dull blade, a soldier without armor, a man without purpose. Honor is a word that has lost its meaning. Today, men betray their friends for clout, lie to themselves for convenience, break promises without a second thought. The samurai understood something we have forgotten. Your name is your soul, and your word is your legacy. A man without honor is a man already dead. The Bushido code, the way of the warrior, was built on an unshakable foundation of honor. A samurai's reputation was everything. He would rather die than bring shame upon his name. He lived by his principles, not by his impulses. He knew that every action, every decision, every word he spoke carved his legacy into history. And yet today, people throw away their integrity for instant gratification. They cheat, they lie, they cut corners, thinking no one will notice. But the truth always comes to light. If you say you are going to do something, do it. If you make a promise, keep it. If you fail, own it. There is no greater power than being a man of your word. In a world full of cowards, thieves, and manipulators, be the one that stands firm. Be the one people can trust. Because in the end, honor is the only thing that will outlive you. It is the only thing that matters. A warrior does not fear death. He does not fear pain. What he fears is dishonor, failure, a life lived in mediocrity. Mental strength is what separates the weak from the powerful, the ordinary from the legendary. And mental strength is not something you are born with. It is something you forge in battle, in suffering, in solitude. The samurai knew that fear was an illusion, that pain was temporary, but that the spirit was eternal. They trained their minds just as ruthlessly as they trained their bodies. They embraced discomfort, walked willingly into suffering, because they knew that a mind that can endure anything is truly unstoppable. Musashi once said, "You must understand that there is more than one path to the top of the mountain." Strength is not just physical. It is emotional. It is intellectual. It is spiritual. A man who controls his mind controls his destiny, and that is the final lesson of the samurai. You are the master of your fate. No one can break you unless you allow them to. No challenge is too great if your mind is stronger than your circumstances. I used to be weak. I used to let fear control me. But the day I stopped waiting for someone to save me, the day I chose to follow the way of the samurai, everything changed. And you can do the same. Start today. Stop making excuses. Stop running from hardship. Sharpen your mind, strengthen your will, and walk the warrior's path. Because in the end, the world does not care about what you say you will do. It only remembers what you become.